Congressman Ryan Zinke is with us now. He's from Montana, the only state I've never been to, and he is a Republican, and you're a former Navy SEAL, aren't you?
Oh, and a son of a plumber.
The son of a plumber?
Yeah, three generations of plumbers.
So you know all about the elites and who they actually vote for.
And I spent time in London, too.
Okay. What do you think about tearing up the Iran deal? I think the president-elect is going to get some help from Benjamin Netanyahu doing that, but how do you feel about it?
Well, it's a bad deal. There's no question in my mind it's a bad deal. It put Iran on a legal framework to obtain as many as 100 nuclear-tipped ICBMs in 13 short years. That's what it did. If you remember, it loosened the sanctions on conventional weapons in 5. It loosened the sanctions on centrifuges in 8. It allowed ICBMs, and the final product was, in 13 years, a legal framework for Iran to have nuclear-tipped ICBMs. They're already launching ICBMs, and this administration is looking the other way.
Well, Iran now says, hey, we'll buy $16, $17 billion worth of planes from Boeing. We'll fix that deal, and then you can't get out of it. You can't just tear up, because if you did, you'd lose all that money for Boeing.
Well, I think we have to be careful on the deal. I mean, that if Iran's using that as leverage, you know, we should not accept the Boeing contract as leverage. I think what I would do is I'd probably put a tripwire in. We need to monitor Iran. We need to make sure they're not supplying terrorism, as they are, still #1. And you look at what our policy is as a country. No one can explain what our policy is in Syria or Iraq or Iran. And we have, you know, in Iraq, we have a Shia militia that in many cases is stronger than the Iraqi army, maneuvering and just about ready to be legitimized by an Iraqi parliament.
Now, the president-elect Donald Trump, he says he's going to get one intelligence briefing per week, not one every day. You're a military guy. How do you feel about that?
Well, shame on the intelligence agency. If they're telling the same thing every day, then they need to change it up, because I can tell you, every theater has issues. Not just the Middle East, not just in China, not just in Pakistan, not in North Korea. So if they're telling him the same thing every day, shame on the intelligence agencies. I think you look at it, he needs to make the decisions on Madison, get him confirmed. He needs to make the decisions on the Secretary of State to get those confirmed. He needs to send someone, and the intelligence agency has to make sure that the president has what he needs to become commander-in-chief and president.
You're a gung-ho Trump guy, aren't you?
I am a gun-ho, make America great guy.
Ryan Zinke, a pleasure to have you with us, sir. Appreciate it.
And likewise. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, sir. Thank you very much.